What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Supreme Latios 14, and today I am starting a new segment in this my channel where we're gonna be taking a look at a particular Pokemon, whether it is be me by myself or with someone I know, and we're gonna pretty much be going into a deep dive and talk about what makes it good, what makes it not good, and talk about its strength. Pretty much talk about its strengths and weaknesses, and what role it does, and all that good stuff. So today is going to be the very first episode of this series, and this is pretty much going to help you guys to for the newer players especially to kind of know, because I do get tend to get a lot of questions about Pokemon, whether if they're good or whether they're bad and stuff like that. So this series is pretty much to help those who are curious about what a Pokemon does, what it's good at, what it's not good at, and all that good stuff. So if you guys do enjoy these type of videos, definitely let me know in the comments, and of course don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't, and all that good stuff. As you can see, I'm still using the same layout from streams, but we're just going to use it just for the sake of it because I think it looks really cool anyway. So the first Pokemon we're actually going to be doing a deep dive on is, of course, going to be none other than Scizor here, because Scizor was actually the newest Pokemon that actually dropped into the game. Now we are going to have clefable coming pretty soon, but once clefable comes, we will be doing a deep dive on that, of course, when that rolls in. But of course, for this one, I'm actually not alone. I'm actually joined by the myth, the legend, the myth, Chris, legend, all that stuff. I messed it up. It is what it is. So
Hello,
I'm
hello.
joined by Chris.
Hi everyone. I play Pokemon MOBA game a lot. It's very fun. Except when it
Yes.
isn't.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Chris is here today to help me. So how this is gonna work is we're gonna actually talk about this Pokemon in full. Like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about its progression, and then Chris is gonna go ahead and do a more in-depth analysis on the moves and what they do and whether or not it's good and all that good stuff. Now, if you guys are curious as to whether or not this Pokemon is worth getting, I'm gonna say right off the bat, until they give some buffs, no. But why, you ask? If you are curious, you might want to stay tuned because we're gonna go into all that details for you right now. So yeah, so I guess while we get started, let's go ahead, and the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna obviously take a look at the stats. Like obviously you can see what it has here. So you can see here this Pokemon apparently excels at offense. Also had some decent endurance. It has a little bit okay endurance. Mobility is decent. Scoring is at 2. Support not the greatest, but then again, it is an all rounder. So a physical all rounder at that, of course. So if we go ahead and take a look at the progression, you guys can see that it is a Pokemon that evolves at level 5. So when you start the game, you actually start as Scyther rather than Scizor, but as you progress, you can actually evolve into Scizor at level 5. Now, there's a little cool thing I do like about this Pokemon, that you can actually choose not to evolve into Scizor. Now, how does that work, you may ask? Well, it's obviously from its moves. So we're going to go ahead and go into the moves in just a second, but first we got to take a look at the basic attack. So basically, their basic attack is pretty much the same. You get with the third attack, does additional damage, while also increases the user's movement speed for a short time as Scyther, and then the Scizor. When you evolve into Scizor, it basically decreases the movement speed of opposing Pokemon when it hits, and then increases the user's defense for a short time. And then the defense increase can also stack as well. So you get those effects when you hit the boosted attack on an opposing Pokemon, which slows them down and then increases your defense. So basically, with Scizor, you make yourself more bulky, while with Scyther, it just gives you additional damage and movement speed. So that's how those basic attacks work. And when you get those boosted attacks and you hit them on opposing Pokemon, you get those effects on it as well too. So I think it's pretty cool on that. But let's go ahead and let's go into moves. So at level 1, you start off with either Fury Cutter or Quick Attack. So we're going to go ahead and go into Fury Cutter first. So yeah, Fury Cutter. Actually, no, I'm going to let Chris, go into the full discussion on the moves. But we're going to talk about the moves. I'm just going to go over what you get at the levels. And then Chris is going to go ahead and go into a more in-depth onto what the moves are good for and all that good stuff. So at level 1, you could choose between Fury Cutter and Quick Attack, and then at level 3, you get the other moves. So pretty standard, pretty self-explanatory on that. Fury Cutter is a melee attack, while Quick Attack is pretty much a dash. So that's pretty much on that note there. And then this is where it gets interesting. So at level 5, you get a choice between Dual Wing Beat and Bullet Punch. And I believe this is the first time we actually ever got a Pokemon that you can actually choose not to evolve. So if you choose to get Dual Wing Beat, you remain Scyther and you get access to the Dual Wing Beat, which is a pretty cool attack, which I'm going to let Chris talk about that just a short bit. And then if you want to go Scizor, you choose you can if you get Bullet Punch, you evolve into Scizor. So I think it's a really cool addition to the move. That a cool addition that they added to the game in which you could choose to evolve into Scizor or you just want to stay as Scyther. So basically, it's like Scyther is an all-out speedy assassin, while Scizor is pretty much the melee attack. So it's like you have to be like up close in the face basically is how it works. I think that's the right wording for that, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Scizor is more of in your face, and Scyther is pretty much the speedy assassin. So it's basically your choice on that front. So and then going to level 7, you do get access to either double hit or Swords Dance. Double hit basically gives you a dash, while Swords Dance gives you a attack increase and also has some other additional effects too, which we're gonna have Chris go over that as well. So I'm sorry, Chris, I'm putting on the info on you because you do know a lot about this stuff. So and then, of course, you do get the Unite moves, which they both, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they do have the same effect, except Scyther's is the green illusion dive, while Scizor is the red illusion dive. Dive, sorry. I believe they do have the same effect, but they might also have some different similarities, of course. So it looks like roughly the same kind of move, except it's green for Scyther and then red for Scizor. So you get your moves at level 9, and then if I'm not mistaken, you get your upgrade to your move at level. You get your upgrade to the first move at level 11, and then you get your upgrade for the second move at level 13. Did I get that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I got that. All right, so Chris, if you'd like to explain more about what the moves do, I guess we could start with these. Fury Cutter, Quick Attack with the starting moves. So I'll let you have the floor with this one here. So it's your floor.
Yeah, so basically, Fury Cutter is like, well, if you're jungling, which I recommend you always want to jungle it, I don't think you really want to land it. Although, an important part about landing it is you'll never get level locked because you're involved, and then if you want to go into Scizor, you have to choose to move forward first. So you're never get level locked, which makes the landing a lot easier. But I still never think you should land it. I think you should most of the time jungle it. But if you're jungling quick attack and like go through a wall, it's a good kind of burst of damage, not a whole lot a bit less than like Lucario's quick attack, I guess. And then there's also Fury Cutter, which is like a double hit of damage that can, and it gives you an animation cancel, so you can go into another auto right after it. So it's like 3 good hits you can get there. And then
Yep.
it gets interesting when you get your 5. I think right now Scizor is incredibly undertuned. It got gutted from the PTS. It's really probably the worst character in the game until they buff it.
Now,
So
would you like to explain to the viewers as to why Scizor got nerfed pretty hard upon release?
yeah, so it was really good in the PTS, the public test server, because Bullet Punch it did a lot of damage and it healed a whole lot. And then the second move, both of them were good. I don't think they changed the second moves a whole lot. It was mainly the first two. But one of the reasons it's almost like bugged now because I think it has almost the exact same stats as Scyther, which it shouldn't be because Scissor should be like really tanky, like have a lot of HP and defense. But it just doesn't. It gets like one shotted by a lot of things easily. And Bullet Punch does like no damage now. It hardly heals anything, and it's just like it's supposed to be like in the battle a lot, doing a lot of like damage and self sustaining, but it just doesn't. So I think Scyther is a lot better because Scyther is kind of like a mobile Gengar is the best way to explain it because you get resets whenever you put like your effect on him. I'm not really sure what it's called, but if you put your effect on him and you kill someone with that effect on, so like with one of your two moves, double hit slash sword stance or dual wing beat, you get your moves get reset. Kind of like Gengar when you kill someone, you get your reset on your move. So
So
like I
basically,
think
so
yeah
basically,
you
it's
know
not. It's yeah. I was gonna ask you. So it's basically like a cooldown. So if you hit the move and you get a KO on it, you pretty much get a cooldown. It's like a free
yeah
cooldown there.
it is. So yeah, it's really if someone gets really good with it, then it could be all right. But it's just like the damage is even on Scyther is still pretty bad. It just doesn't do a whole lot. It's really squishy, and like it has a lot of mobility, but it doesn't do much late game. It has a pretty good first game, actually, I feel like. But after that, I feel like it just falls off so much. I don't think it really does a whole lot.
I will
You know?
say that I did had a game one time where I actually did use dual wing beat with Scyther and which we're gonna talk about. Well, we already mentioned that, but I used to ran dual wing beat with double hit basically, and I did pretty well on that. Which if you guys want to check out that game, I'm gonna have the link to that game in the description below, so you guys can have a look at some Scyther gameplay. But as Chris said, Scizor just it just has so much. Really, it just needs so much for it. Honestly, it really does.
I can go on like about the moves and stuff too, like more in detail.
Yeah, I
Alright,
mean, well, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so I'll start with dual wing beat. You have it's kind of like a range move. The reticle to hit it's kind of small, but if you hit it, you get like two like things that make like an X, and then if you hit someone with it, you get like a dash that does a good amount of damage. So that's why it's kind of good in your first game because like your combo is first dual wing meet, and then you dash into them, and then you can do a quick attack into them, and it can do a good amount of damage if your laner's back up or you have good laners at that. And so that's really good. And then double hit and sword stance are both good. I'm hearing people say sword stance is better. I personally think double hit is better because it gives you that mobility. It's kind of like Cinderace's Blaze Kick in a way. Unless you like jump off someone and get a rebound. I think mobility is what this character needs, so I think double hit's better on Scyther. I
I
think on
have
Scissor, sword
I
stance is
have to,
better.
yeah, I have to agree about double hit because, I like I said before, I played Scyther a couple of games before. I ran with dual wing beat and double hit, and the movement was was so great, as well as being able to get off a lot of damage. Like you had so much mobility that you could even run an X attack on this Pokemon because you have so much mobility. You didn't really need an eject button or an X speed, especially if you jungle with it. You have like a lot of damage, and with the right support, Scyther I think just can really pop off with the right support and the right circumstances. But anyway, continue, Chris. I'm sorry.
Alright, so yeah, and then that's enough about Scyther for I'll get to the night move later. But Scizor is bullet punch, you hit it, and then if you use it again, you your next one will be stronger. But there's only a limited amount of time it will be stronger. It's kinda hard to explain, but like if you do it in a game it's super simple. You will it won't it's like a circle over it, it'll show you pretty clearly. So then the next move, Sword Stance. I'm actually not entirely sure how Sword Stance works, but from what I know, you when you activate, you stack up like your autos, and then when you get enough, you can do like a big punch with it, and that actually does pretty good damage. I will say that does
I
all
could
right
I
damage.
could I could wreck your resource dance real quick. What it says here, it has the user dash a short distance, increasing its attack for a short time. While the user's attack is increased, the user's eighth basic attack becomes an area of effect attack that pierces through opposing Pokemon in a line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so there
Yeah.
you
So
go.
that alrighty,
And then after the
and then
upgrade, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention after the upgrade with the Source Dance, you also get a it also reduces damage the user receives from opposing Pokemon as you're dashing.
yeah, good upgrade. But
Yep.
so yeah, and then the unite move with Scizor and Scyther, it's different. So Scizor, it like you activate it and it pushes them, and then you like bring all your copies in for like a good kind of burst of damage. It doesn't. I don't think Scizor's unite move is the greatest. It's pretty good. It can. It's kind of like using like almost like Trevenant Scorn Leech in a way. You kind of just like push them. It's nothing like really special. But then Scyther's it's you kind of just activate it, you fly in on them, and then it actually does a pretty big burst amount of damage. So I'd say Scyther's is actually pretty good. It can combo with or your attacks more, so you can really like delete the enemy team with it if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And then it also says here if a opposing Pokemon is knocked out, all of the user's moves cooldowns are reduced.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's like the move reset things. That's kind of what I was explaining. But yeah, it's called mark. So I guess when you mark someone with like your scissor thing, whatever, like the
Yeah.
X above their head, I think. And if you kill someone with that, you'll get your cooldown resetted.
Yep. Pretty much. So considering what considering what the Pokemon has in this tool, as well as its evolution and all that such, would you recommend that this is a Pokemon for people to actually play? Let me know your thoughts.
So anything, this is not like about the character itself. I don't think anyone should buy it, at least for now, because you can only get it for gems. I don't think you should buy any characters with gems unless
Actually,
it's like you
actually,
love
Chris,
the character.
Chris, if I may interrupt, it is actually, if I'm not mistaken, it is currently available now for a gem for. Oh no, oh no, you're right. It is. It is available for just gems, but
Like a few
like
days
it.
left.
Yeah, pretty much. But would you say that this will be a Pokemon that people should invest in regarding of gems or coins? Do you think this is a Pokemon worth getting?
Currently, no. If you really just like the character itself, like main series Pokemon games, then yeah, I recommend it because it's if it's like one of your favorite Pokemon, then never say no to that. Just get it no matter what. Like I really liked one of my favorite Pokemon is like Aegislash, but he came out when he came out, he was really undertuned. Well, pretty undertuned, but I still got him anyway because Aegislash is such a cool character. But then they buffed him to make him really good. But that's besides the point. But I don't think it's worth. He's worth getting yet. I'm 110% sure he will. Scyther and Scyther will get buffed very soon. Probably when the season ends in like a week. I think
Yep.
that's when the balance patch for it.
I have to agree. Like it kind of like I'm not gonna lie. When I first played Scizor on the day of release, I thought it looked really cool design wise and such. But when I saw how very little progress I was making in terms of getting damage done with it, and the fact that I was getting consistently like now, I thought to myself, okay, there was definitely something wrong with this Pokemon. Like maybe I thought I was playing this Pokemon wrong, but it turned out that Scizor was really hard nerfed so badly that it just didn't felt good playing anymore.
Yeah.
So so I feel like it's just one of those Pokemon where a lot of people are looking forward to it, and now that it's out, it's like the fact that it's just not so great. It just kind of feels it feels saddening to see that it's just not great right now. But as Chris said, I mean, once it gets some buffs, depending on how the buffs do for Scizor, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens for this Pokemon. Let's hope for the best for this Pokemon. I'd
Yeah.
say.
And I also wanted to correct something I said. Literally like 2 hours ago, it just became available with EOS coins. I just bought it. So you can buy it with coins now. But again, any character that comes out with gems for the first week, I recommend never getting it. It's just dumb. You're basically supporting a bad business tactic. So if it's like one of your favorite Pokemon, then do it. If you're really looking forward to it, like really looking forward to it, then you can do it. But overall, it's just a really bad business tactic
Like
for
yeah,
10 cents.
like basically, if you're limited on coins and you're wondering should I get Scizor, I will say not really, not right now. Wait to see what happens in terms of buffs. I mean, if you're lucky to actually get a limited time license, if you do have the membership, then if you got that, then hey, go for it, play it. But if you do want to play Scizor, I recommend probably just going Scyther, but and then maybe with like a particular build like this, like a Muscle Band, Floatstone, and Scopeland. That's what I use for Scyther with X Attack, with Dual Wing Beat, Double Hit. It's pretty funny. It did do some damage. Which again, if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at at that video where I was playing Scizor, definitely check the link in in the description below, and you guys can see a Scyther gameplay if you guys want to check it for yourself. But as we mentioned, I don't think Scizor's really great right now, but hopefully they'll fix it in due time. So yeah, anyways, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this discussion for Scizor here and Scizor slash Scyther. So Scizor right now bad. Scyther it's good, not great, but it's not bad. So
Mediocre.
yeah, pretty much. So anyways, I want to thank Chris, the myth, the legend, for coming through today.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
For sure, for sure. He has a nice and powerful Lucario main, which I believe he was rocking it, and now I think he's picking up Mew now. So
Yeah, Lucario isn't great right now and Mew's broken. But we'll talk about that on the next episode.
yeah, Maybe Mew might be picked, but let us know let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see a dual deep dive on. So with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.